Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we are going to be covering confirmation dialogues in SwiftUI. Now, what is a confirmation dialog? Well, confirmation dialog is the modifier that we use to replace actionSheet. Now, previously we took a look at actionSheet simply because I wanted to make sure that you were aware of prior APIs in case in case you needed to support previous versions of iOS. But for new apps, really you should be using confirmation dialog instead of actionSheet. Now, confirmation dialog is cross-platform, so it works on Mac, works on iOS, iPadOS, visionOS, watchOS, tvOS, everything. Whereas actionSheet only worked on iOS and iPadOS. Alright, so as the name implies, the primary usage of confirmation dialog is to confirm a selection or some kind of choice. So for example, let's say you have a list of data and you want to delete something from that list of data. Well, you would use confirmation dialog to confirm whether or not you really want to delete that item. And if you do, you can press a button in there that says delete, and it will delete the item. Otherwise, you can hit, for example, a cancel button, and the operation will not go through, thus not deleting the item. And confirmation dialog is where roles can have a profound effect on the appearance of the dialog. So let's say you have a button that is a cancel button. Well, that button with a role of cancel will appear at the bottom of the sheet, separated from all the other actions in the sheet. Right? So that's kind of how the cancel button behaves, at least on iOS. And then if you have the role of destructive set to some button in your confirmation dialog's actions, the text will be red. This is the case on iOS, iPad OS, and Mac OS. I'm not sure about watchOS. I believe it's also the case on Vision OS, but you kind of get the idea here. So how do we actually summon a confirmation dialog? Well, it's very similar to how we summoned an alert. There are many different ways that you can configure a confirmation dialog using the confirmation dialog modifier, but I'm going to go through the more basic one to kind of get you started. So if we take a look at the simulator, this is what our app looks like right now. So we have a circle in the middle of the screen that's 300 by 300. And then we have 3 buttons, red, green, and blue. They have a bordered prominent style. Their border shape is a capsule. And the tint color for them is blue. You could change this if you want. You could make the red button red. You could make the blue button blue and the green button green. However you want to do it. But what we want to do is every time one of these buttons is pressed, we want to summon a confirmation dialog asking the user, are you sure you want to change the circle's color to this, right? And if you hit yes, then the color will change. If you hit cancel, then nothing will happen. So let's go ahead and code this. In Xcode, I already have 3 state variables. 4 state variables technically. The 3 Boolean state variables are what we're going to use for each confirmation dialog, because the first parameter for our confirmation dialog is going to be a binding to some Boolean state variable. And then we have a state variable called color being used for filling the circle with color. That's pretty much what that's for. All right, let's go ahead and go to our first button and create a confirmation dialog. All right. So first thing that we want to do is we want to say confirm red dot toggle. So when this button is pressed, we want to summon that confirmation dialog. All right. Now, at the end of our modifiers here, where we have our tint modifier, beneath that we're going to say dot confirmation dialog. And what we're going to use here is the first one, where it first takes in a title. So what do you want your confirmation dialog to say? We'll say, are you sure? Are you sure you want to change the color of the circle to red, question mark. And then we'll have a binding to the Boolean of $confirm red. Then we'll need actions. This is going to be a closure that takes in a view hierarchy. And because it's the last parameter, it can be a trailing closure like that. And then first we'll have a button that says confirm. And if this is pressed, we want to set color equals dot red. The second button that we're going to add is button cancel with a roll of dot cancel. And then inside of this, inside of the cancel button, what we'll do is we'll just simply say confirm red dot toggle. So we want to dismiss the dialog. All right. So that is our confirmation dialog with our buttons. Let's go ahead and test it. All right, we have a successful build. Here we are. I'm going to tap the red button. And you can see we get this neat little dialog down at the bottom of our screen. Now, by default, with the version of the confirmation dialog modifier that we specified, it doesn't show the title. If you want to always show the title, there is a version of confirmation dialog that has title visibility, and you can set that to I'm forgetting exactly what it is, but I'm forgetting exactly what the value particularly is. But I believe it's visible. You can set it to visible, and the title will show. But we can hit confirm. The dialog goes away, and the color will change. But by default, the color is red, so we're not going to notice any change. right? So we can do a similar thing with our green button. All right, so we'll say dot confirmation dialog. And so you can see here, we have at the top here, this one does have a title visibility. So just to show you this, I'm going to use that one. So for the title, we'll say, are you sure you want to change the color of the circle to green? Here we'll bind this to confirm green. For title visibility, we have automatic, which tells the system to decide based on the context in which the confirmation dialog is being used, whether or not you want to, whether or not the title should be shown. Hidden means that the title will always be hidden, and yes, I was correct. Visible is what we would use to make sure that the title is always visible. And then we have actions, which again can be a trailing closure and an optional message as well, but we're going to leave that alone. We'll go ahead and open that up, and we'll say button confirm color equals dot green, and then a second button with a title of cancel, a roll of dot cancel, and as its action, it'll simply be confirm green dot toggle, just like that. Let's go ahead and save it, run it again, and make sure that this one works. All right, so let's go ahead and say green. I see what we didn't do. What we didn't do is we did not say confirm green dot toggle inside of the action for the green button. There we go. Let's run it again. Let's hit the green button. And now we get our confirmation dialog, but this time we have a title that's actually visible. We can hit confirm. And now our circle is green. All right. Let's say we want to click the red button again. Let's hit cancel. You can see it doesn't turn red. Nothing happens because we hit cancel instead of confirm. And then it's the same song and dance for the blue button. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this code. copy that. Inside of the action closure for the blue button, we will say confirm blue dot toggle. All right, and then we will paste that confirmation dialog here. And then instead of confirm green dot toggle, it'll be confirm blue dot toggle. And then when we hit confirm, instead of being green, we'll say dot blue. Save that, run it. And here we are. Let's hit blue. All right, so the blue button does not appear to want to summon the dialog. So let's take a look. It might be that we forgot to change something, which we most likely did. Okay. So let's change green to blue here. And we'll say confirm blue. There we go. So save, run. All right, now that we've changed the binding, we can hit our blue button here. And so there's our confirmation dialog. We can hit confirm here. And now the circle is blue. We can say red again and hit cancel and nothing will happen, right? So now that we've kind of seen what a confirmation dialog looks like on the iPhone, let's take a look at what it looks like on macOS. So let's go back into Xcode. I'm gonna go to my run destinations here. And I want my Mac, save and run. Let it do its thing here. All right, so here is our application. It looks slightly different because it's on macOS, obviously. But the functionality is still the same. So let's hit the green button. All right. So here is what a confirmation dialog looks like on macOS. It looks effectively identical to an alert, but that doesn't mean that on macOS you should just use an alert and be done with it, right? If you want to make decisions in your app with a dialog, use confirmation dialog instead of alert, because alert is generally meant to warn the user that something went wrong. Confirmation dialog is to, as the name implies, confirm whether or not you want to do something. Let's hit confirm, and now the circle is blue. Let's hit the blue button, hit confirm. Now the circle is blue. We can hit red. We can say cancel, and the color doesn't change because we hit cancel instead of confirm. All right, so that pretty much does it for this video on confirmation dialog. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.